The Daily Fix by Rohan Venkatamakrishnan Eaton Abramovic, AFP Rohan Venkatamakrishnan Share tweet email Reddit print Share tweet email Reddit print At Rising Kashmir, it was a life full of struggle. Right from the day one, Shujat Bukhari had given his newspaper an institutional shape as against a corporate character. He groomed scribes into thinking minds, gave them freedom of choices and made himself accountable to readers on their behalf, writes Zafar Chowdhury in Rising Kashmir. How a team of dedicated and defiant journalists at Rising Kashmir worked to bring out a newspaper, hours after their editor was assassinated, writes Pirzada Ashik in The Hindu. Udayan Rathore and Pramit Bhattacharya and Mint try to sift through the jobs data from India over the last few years and find that the different pieces of evidence do not paint a very rosy picture about job opportunities in the countryside, or indeed, in the country. New documents show that the government of Maharashtra concealed details of enormous importance to the Loya case in its submissions to the Supreme Court. Find Nikita Saxena, Atul Dev and Niranjan Takal in the caravan. Despite the odds, Srimanta Sankardev not only reached Majuli Island, but, along with his disciples, set up 65 satras, which is said to translate to unique monasteries. Here, away from the prying eyes of the world, Sankardev developed an equally unique way of worship through dance and drama, called the Satriya Nritya. Bokits, monks, at the island's various monasteries say the saint chose the performance arts as a means to pray and preach because these transcended barriers imposed by language and geography, writes Sankar Sridhar in Mint. Tora Argawala in the Indian Express writes about how a friendship turned sour and a Facebook post turned into violence in Assam. In the Economic Times, G. Sridhar Aman and Shantanu Nandan Sharma look at the politics behind the centre's sugar package and how it will be crucial for the Bharatiya Janata Party. An 18-month investigation leads to a trail of new evidence showing the bad boys of Brexit had closer links to Russia and its ambassador than they have disclosed, writes Carol Cadwallader in The Guardian. Some of the most intense drama surrounding President Trump's summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un came not across the negotiating table, but in the days and hours leading up to Tuesday's historic meeting, a behind-the-scenes flurry of commotion prompted by Trump himself. Report Ashley Parker, Josh Dawsey, Carol D. Leonic and Karen D. Young in The Washington Post. It's a stretch to read one missed penalty as an emblem of Messi's entire international career, but it felt like one on Saturday morning. Soccer is full of paradox. Sometimes its most unmeaningful moments are also its most eloquent, writes Brian Phillips in The New Yorker. Support our journalism by subscribing to Scroll Here. We welcome your comments at letters@scroll.in. The Weekend Fix Shujat Bukhari Lionel Messi Rising Kashmir sponsored content by published June 12, 2018 3:27 a.m. Share tweet email Reddit print Share tweet email Reddit print Vikas Dimri made a huge attempt last year to climb the Mount Everest. Fate had other plans. Thwarted by unfavorable weather at the last minute, he came so close and yet not close enough to say he was at the top. But that did not deter him. Vikas is back on the Everest trail now, and this time he's sharing his experiences at every leg of the journey. The Everest journey began from the Lukla airport, known for its dicey landing conditions. It reminded him of the failed expedition, but he still moved on to Namche Bazaar, the staging point for Everest expeditions, with a positive mind. Vikas let the wisdom of the mountains guide him as he battled doubt and memories of the previous expedition. In his words, the Everest taught him that, to conquer our personal Everest, we need to drop all our unnecessary baggage, be it physical or mental or even emotional. Vikas used a descent for ascent approach to acclimatize. In this approach, mountaineers gain altitude during the day, but descend to catch some sleep. Acclimatizing to such high altitudes is crucial as the lack of adequate oxygen can cause dizziness, nausea, headache and even muscle death. As Vikas prepared to scale the riskiest part of the climb, the unstable and continuously melting Khumbu ice fall, he pondered over his journey so far. His brother's diagnosis of a heart condition in his youth was a wake-up call for the rather sedentary Vikas, and that is when he started focusing on his health more. For the first time in his life, he began to appreciate the power of nutrition and experimented with different diets and supplements for their health benefits. His quest for better health also motivated him to take up hiking, marathon running, squash and, eventually, a summit of the Everest. Back in the Himalayas, after a string of sleepless nights, Vikas and his team ascended to Camp 2, 6,500 meters, as planned, and then descended to base camp for the basic luxuries, hot shower, hot lunch and essential supplements. Back up at Camp 2, the weather played spoiler again as a jet stream, a fast-flowing, narrow air current moved right over the mountain. Wisdom from the mountains helped Vikas maintain perspective as they were required to descend 15 kilometers to Farish Valley. He accepted that strength lies not merely in chasing the big dream, but also in accepting that things could go wrong. At Camp 4, 8,000 meters, famously known as the Death Zone, Vikas caught a clear glimpse of the summit, his dream standing rather tall in front of him. It was the 18th of May 2018 and Vikas finally reached the top. The top of his Everest, the top of Mount Everest. Watch the video below to see actual moments from Vikas' climb. Vikas credits his strength to dedication, exercise and a healthy diet. He credits dietary supplements for helping him sustain himself in the inhuman conditions on Mount Everest. On heights like these where the oxygen supply drops to 1/3 road to levels on the ground, the body requires 3 times the regular blood volume to pump the requisite amount of oxygen. He, thus, doesn't embark on an expedition without double-checking his supplements and uses Livogen as an aid to maintain adequate amounts of iron in his blood. Livogen is proud to have supported Vikas Dimri on his ambitious quest and salutes his spirit. To read more about the benefits of iron, see here. To read Vikas Dimri's account of his expedition, click here. This article was produced by the Scroll marketing team on behalf of Livogen and not by the Scroll editorial team.